We showed you some headlines on yesterday's show, didn't we? More today, the front page of Bild saying, win of the century. Bayern destroyed Barca with 8 goals. Very much contrary to that, Mundo Deportivo in Catalonia saying the end of an embarrassing cycle. Stevie's still with us. Gab Marcotti joins the show as well. Gentlemen, I just want to talk a little bit more about what we saw play out in Portugal 24 hours ago. Steve, I'm just starting with you. And what was your big takeaway from a Barcelona point of view?
It's over. It's time to restart. It's time to rebuild. Back to basics. Don't have any thoughts of grandeur because right now they have to get a solid base and start again, pretty much.
Here's the problem with that, Gab. As much as everybody's been talking about an overall after this game, about everyone's getting older, you need to bring in some fresh legs, Barca don't really have the resources to do that, do they?
No, I mean, when you think that they spent, close to $400 million on Antoine Griezmann, Ousmane Dembele, and Philippe Coutinho, neither of the three started that game. Different reasons. Obviously, Coutinho was playing for the other team or came on and scored 2 goals. I think it speaks to a deeper failure. And I think when Gerard Piqué, after the game, he talked about, look, it's not just the players, it's not just the manager. It runs deeper. It's a structural issue that we have here. That's what he was talking about. This team is tapped out financially, tapped out in terms of wages. There's all sorts of stuff going on, not even behind the scenes, out in the open because of the way Barcelona is. All sorts of issues with Bartomeu and the people around him, and that affects them on the pitch.
They're in freefall now, pretty much, yeah, Gab. They're trying to have a parachute, but there is no parachute for Barca anymore because they've used too many of them.
There's no immediate parachute. And I think this will present an interesting conundrum with Lionel Messi, because I think with any sort of older superstar, and I think, the same thing applies to some of the challenges facing Cristiano Ronaldo at Juventus, you can't really rebuild when you have, a GOAT candidate there who you're paying a ton of money to. So the idea is, you get Messi to stick around while you bring in a bunch of kids, promote from the cantera, make it all about Puig and Fati, and say, well, we're going to be good in a couple of years' time once we get through this rocky period? Or, do you continue to, so to speak, throw good money down the money hole and try to bring in veterans that you think are going to help you now? I think that's the tricky conundrum that they need to resolve here.
Let's focus that on Messi then, shall we, Gab? Could he leave?
I mean, presumably the threat is always there, right? There's a reason why, he only signs 1-year contracts, because he knows that the danger is always there. There's no indication that he has any desire to leave. And I think in some ways, you even saw that from Bartomeu saying, well, I want to, sort out Ter Stegen's contract first because, Messi's not going to be an issue. What I would imagine is Messi's going to look and say, what club is this direction going in? Can I influence the direction in which this club goes? Because, there's suggestions that we could have early elections, perhaps in January or February, although some people are going to want elections even earlier. There's a decision to be made on the new manager. You imagine Messi's going to be consulted. I think, the question is, Messi's going to be like, I'm a big asset to this club. I love this club. I want to make my voice heard because, you know what, all this time that I was sitting there letting others make decisions, we ended up in the mess that we're in right now. So I think, the next couple months are going to be absolutely pivotal for Lionel Messi.
How much is he thinking, Stevie? My biological clock is ticking. I'm 33.
Dan.
Go on.
Dan, Gab, can I ask you a question? Because, this slide's been going for 3 years maybe since Neymar left. And every time there's a crisis or something goes wrong, it always ends up with the last line is usually, and of course Lionel Messi will come into the decision making. Why are you still going to have Lionel Messi in the decision making after 3 years when you think he's been sticking his nose in and all these bad decisions have been made? I mean, surely now's the time to get. Messi, we want you to play. We want you to play football. We want you to sort out the team. We'll do all the other stuff. We don't need you involved. Because if he's got too much say, then no wonder the club's going the wrong way, making all these changes. Three different football directors in 5 years or something. I mean, it's ridiculous. The buck stops with the president. He's the one that's made all the bad choices. And if he's actually decided to get Messi involved in the decision-making, then that's another bad choice on top of it.
Well, so, I mean, first of all, I don't think, about the slide that we talk about, they did win La Liga twice in the last 3 years, as bad as this season has turned out to be. Secondly, I don't think it was Messi who decided to sign Griezmann and Dembele and Coutinho. So, but I think it was more within the context that whoever Messi decides to back, if Messi decides to back a different candidate at the next election, if Messi, we saw Messi, obviously we saw the letter he wrote to Eric Abidal, the director of football earlier this year. When Messi takes these actions, they do have massive repercussions on the club. So that is the power he wields. Now, you can look at it and say, well, okay, that's fine. You're a great footballer, but, you're not necessarily a director of football or a club president type, not yet anyway. So please get back in your box. But equally, Messi moves voters. Barcelona have elections. It's fans who answer. And if you're asked those fans right now, who do you trust more with Barcelona's future? Is it Lionel Messi or is it Bartomeu? They're going to say it's Lionel Messi.
Right. Two things here. I want to start. Okay, let's do Messi. I'll just do Messi a moment. Stevie, if you're Messi, 33, this is a big rebuild, isn't it? Do you leave to try and get that
Absolutely.
Champions League elsewhere?
Yeah. Wow, this really is down to what kind of person Messi is. He's got two trains of thought, basically, for me. One is, this club's given me everything. I know I've given everything I have to them. For me to leave would just be wrong. Or, I've only got a couple of years left at the very top, maybe 3 max. I can't spend the rest of my career bringing up a bunch of kids or going through, mediocrity. Now, I guess mediocrity for them would be qualifying for the Champions League, but I mean, it's really mediocrity we're talking about, because they need to make, in my opinion, at least 6 or 7 changes. So I don't see how they're going to win the Liga with 6 or 7 changes, certainly over the next couple of years. So that's what it boils down to. He's either absolutely 100% loyal, thinks he owes his career to what Barcelona did for him, or else it's look after yourself and I need to go.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.